I have a scene in Blender. I brought in some floor plans. I use the annotation tool to mark out prominent features in the floor plans. I do see a discrepancy. I scaled things consistently, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but that's not any kind of a stopper. I brought in the add-on Archimesh so that I can start building, fleshing out this house fairly quickly. When you bring a mesh or what have you into Blender, by default it will place itself at the 3D cursor based on the geometry of the item, what have you. The cursor by default is at the world origin. That can be moved easily enough. If I do shift and right click, I can place that cursor wherever I'd like. And that can be kind of a handy, quick way to get things roughly placed. If I want to be more precise, I can do the same thing, shift, right click. Now when I do that, however, note that it latched onto this plane. All right? It assumes, and very often it's going to be correct, that this is where I want that cursor to be. That's not the case. So I'm going to do something that's I actually do quite a bit. It comes in very handy. I'm going to add a mesh, and I'm going to use that mesh as a marker for where to place the 3D cursor. So please note that by default, the mesh did show up where that 3D cursor is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that mesh. I'll push G on my keyboard. I'll press Y. I'll slide this up. Let me see. Oh, a little bit off the mark there, but let's just do this again. Grab on Y, put it back a little bit, and now let's just get in a little bit closer and see what we have. If I look at this guy from the front view, that's pretty much where I want it. If I look at it, I'll push 7 on my keyboard from the top view. I'm actually going to move it over a little bit. So I'm just going to do grab, and I will just hit my arrow key a few times, and that's about where I'd like the origin of the house to be when I start building. Now, that doesn't fix anything yet. What I need to do now is move the 3D cursor to that. So, I have one nice thing is if I push Shift S, I get a series of options. And I can actually set the cursor to the selected item. Now, I don't have to do simply that, though. I mean, in this case, that's where I am going to stop. But if, for example, I tab into this, you can do it by the vertex. So if I wanted to, I could select that vertex, Shift S, and I could move the cursor to that specific spot. So anyway, I'm going to tab out of that and call it good. And hopefully that is of some help to you.